well, no, listen, it's okay. I'm not mansplaining. I'm explaining for people watching at home. Judiciary. And that's why I really like this this example right now, because it's a perfect example of this amalgamate that is three branches of government that are equal but separate, and particularly more autonomous as the court.
So many condescending little peppers in there, by the way. It's like, oh, don't worry, I'm not mansplaining. I know what you're gonna say. Okay, I know what you snowflakes like to say. I'm not mansplaining. All right, I'm just explaining it rationally because I'm big IQ and you're baby IQ. I have big brain.
Voters should pick the president. The president should pick the justice.
To jam this nomination through the Senate is just an exercise in raw political power.
Leader McConnell and the Republican Senate majority have no right to fill it.
This is a man who does not care about a dying woman's final wish.
Are you and Joe Biden going to pack the court if Judge Amy Coney Barrett is confirmed?
Sir, I've got to ask you about packing the court. Well, sir, don't the voters deserve to know?
No, they don't deserve. I'm not going to play his game. You once again gave a non-answer. Joe Biden gave a non-answer.
Trying to answer you
the
now.
American people deserve a straight answer.
Some have mentioned the possibility that you and the House could move to impeach.
We have our options. We have arrows in our quiver.
That is not a mandate, and it's not democracy. It's a f***ing travesty.
Terrorist Trump must be defeated, must be destroyed, and then he and his enablers and his supporters and the Amy Coney Barretts must be prosecuted and convicted and removed from our society. He's got to
honestly, you're going to have to get rid of the Electoral College. We're going to have to blow up the entire system.
Talk, but saying nothing. I want to know, what do you think? Should the Senate confirm Amy Coney Barrett? And if not, why not? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, let's get straight to it. Meet.
He definitely went to somewhere that's gonna have contrarian views. Definitely not an echo chamber here.
The lovely Anna Grace. So Anna, I don't know how familiar you are with what we do with Change My Mind, but the idea is that it's not a point scoring session. It's really about rationalizing our positions. And yeah, this is going on right now. The hearings are going on right now. So I do want to let, how long does that bell go on?
Well, there's 3 different bells and they're not in sync, so a minute or so, or longer.
Damn it, all the chapel bells are ringing. Okay, so the hearings are going on, so I want to let anyone at home know who's watching that you might say something or I might say something that could be apt to change because we're not there for the hearings right now. We should be glued to our television.
Oh yeah, Christian universities are a thing. Do you not have them in the good old US of A? We have them in Canada. Near me, there's one called Trinity Western University. It's very conservative. They got into a bunch of snafu in good old of Canada because they wanted to have a law program, and then the bar association was like, y'all don't allow homosexuals into your school because you consider it degenerate. So no, you're not going to get licensed by the bar association because of your bigotry. So you can sort that out, and then we'll talk. So enjoy that.
Right now, this is seen in the media as a controversial issue. I see no reason that obviously a qualified, distinguished judge like Amy Coney Barrett should not be confirmed to the United States Supreme Court.
It's very ominous with the bell.
If you see any reason as to why, you're more than welcome to change my mind. Would you be welcome to step forward a little bit, just because we want to be in the boundaries of this table?
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay. Thank you, Anna.
Okay, so I think first off, because it's like an outstanding circumstance, like it's an election year, and we're in the midst of an election. We don't know who's going to win. You know, we're hearing like different.
Oh, he's breathing like Bane right now.
And so I think we should wait till the president is elected or re-elected, and to make that decision. Then second of all, even if it wasn't an election year, as a woman, I don't feel protected or represented by Amy Coney Barrett, and I feel like
it's a mouthful. We can say ACB.
ACB is replacing the very woman who did so many amazing things for women's rights and just human rights.
That's true. Her acronym sounds like ACAB. Weird.
As a feminist, she believed in equality.
Right.
And so she really fought for, like, one of the biggest cases that she fought for was for a man and how he was treated differently because, or you know, there was sexist behavior towards him because he was a man, and that wasn't fair. Like, that sex should not be in the equation at all.
And I think there's a lot actually to admire about our RGB, even though I disagree with her on a whole lot. I'd like to set that aside for a second because there's a difference between you or I not liking a judge or their opinions, and of course the constitutional authority to appoint and confirm them to the Supreme Court. So we can go back to that and those opinions, and I would like to. But the first point you made is that you don't think we should confirm ACB because it's an election year.
Yeah, like not make the decision until whoever's going to be leading us for 4 more years. I think.
Why?
Because there might be a change.
Oh, nice. I'm going to raid into Izzy afterwards.
That would be silly for Donald Trump for her to be elected, and then the person who fought so hard for her and even elected her is not even in office anymore.
Well, I don't understand why that would be silly, because the president is president for 4 years.
Yeah, but this term is almost over.
Sure, yeah, but the term isn't over. So he has 4 years as a presidency. I mean, I guess I don't understand. So you're not arguing that constitutionally he doesn't have the authority, or the Senate doesn't have the authority to confirm. You're saying it's just maybe
I think
form?
just because of these circumstances, because it's an election year. This only happens every 4 years. And and I think
But
that
I guess on what would you base that other than you feel like it's inappropriate?
So, as you probably know the grift by now, he goes to college campuses, and this time he's gone to a Christian one, so he's surrounded by his colleagues and peers, but he finds people with no media experience, and then, they come across as a little soft on the issues, at which point he gets to destroy them in the marketplace of ideas.
I just think that because of an election year, we should wait to who's going to be leading for the next 4 years.
And then it sets that thing up where these kind of arguments, they actually appear as weak, right? So it's like, well, you see the libs are saying that apparently it's not unconstitutional, it's just not cool to them because they're all precious snowflakes.
Now, let me ask you this, and I understand, because that's a sentiment that I've heard expressed quite a bit. Do you think that maybe that's been instilled in you, perhaps to a degree, by biased professors or media? Because it's a very, very new opinion.
What?
The idea that you can't appoint a Supreme Court justice in an election year.
I mean, she may have gotten that idea from 2016 when it was coming from every single Republican. You may recall that the whole Merrick Garland confirmation under Obama. There was 9 months to go, but every single Republican said this was outrageous and that this can't be done, and there's no absolute, like, this is just beyond the pale. How could we ever allow this to happen? Are you serious?
Well, this is my second election that I've been able to vote in.
Okay,
and
well,
so
historically.
Historically?
Yeah.
Have I been?
No, I mean, historically, this is a very new idea that a president should only act as president for 3 years. As a matter of fact, RBG, who we both said we've respected, she said that the president, of course, is elected for 4 years and should act as president, and he should absolutely nominate a justice in an election year. She said that. She was very clear about that, as a matter of fact. This is not her dying wishes according to her granddaughter that can't actually be verified. This is her publicly written opinion.
When did she write that?
She wrote this years ago. Yeah, and she wrote this while Barack Obama was president, I believe. And it was something that was
so
taken from
long
the Supreme
ago.
Court.
We're talking about right now.
That's not that long ago. You're talking about 3 years ago. Do you know how many times?
3 years ago?
Do you know how many? I'm going to continue finishing my thought here. Do you know how many times a president has nominated a Supreme Court justice in an election year?
No, I do not.
29 times. 29 times.
And they've been elected?
So when it's and that's actually a very good question, because when it's a shared party government, when it's not a divided government, meaning the three branches of government are executive. Well, listen, it's okay. I'm not mansplaining. I'm explaining for people watching at home. Judiciary, and that's why I really like this example right now, because it's a perfect example of this amalgamate that is 3 branches of government that are equal but separate, and particularly more autonomous as the court.
So many condescending little peppers in there, by the way. It's like, oh, don't worry, I'm not mansplaining. I know what you're gonna say. Okay, I know what you snowflakes like to say. I'm not mansplaining. All right, I'm just explaining it rationally because I'm big IQ and you're baby IQ. I have big brain.
So 10 out of those scenarios, we had the same party in charge of the executive and legislative branch, and in all 10 times they confirmed. There was one exception with a man named Abe. Abe, I forgot his last name, and that was because he was forced to resign due to ethics issues, but those were already underway. So yeah, 29 times the president in an election year, an outgoing president, has nominated someone, and when it's been a shared party for president in the legislature, it's confirmed.
And that's 10 times?
That's 9 out of the 10 times, barring the one exception with Abe because of ethics issues. Yeah. So there's a long-standing precedent. As a matter of fact, it would be a violation of American precedent and decorum to not confirm them. So I guess what would you be? And I've heard this quite a bit.
I mean, she goes against so much of the progress that we've made from the Supreme Court justice that she's going to be replacing.
Mm-hmm.
That sits okay with you? Do you care about women's rights?
Do I care about women's rights? Of course I do. Okay. What does that have to do with confirming Amy Coney Barrett?
Well, I don't think that she's the best fit to begin with.
So is that the litmus test for why we should not confirm a justice?
No, it's the election year, as I first said.
But the election year. But
if you want to go deeper, then yeah, it's also that she's.
Okay, but you said the election year. Have we addressed the election year that there's 29 times precedent? So this is so you don't like it. You don't feel good about it.
No, I told you that it was because of an election year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. I know the circle they're going through. I'm going to move on to his next victim number 2. Oh, and if you're asking who is the best leftist to debate Crowder, Crowder doesn't debate leftists. What he does is he likes going to college campuses where he can debate, students who have no media experience. And let's be honest. If he was to take on, say, someone like Sam Cedar, which he can't because his father actually defends and blocks any kind of things that he knows will embarrass him. His father's his manager, so his father has been like, no, you're not debating Sam Cedar. No, that's not happening. We all know what's going to happen there, Crowder, all right? We gotta stick to college campuses, all right? We got to do that. And when I say media experience, I mean people who have experience being on camera, speaking publicly, being surrounded by a group of people. This is all very, very nerve-wracking, especially if it's not what you're used to. So it doesn't even matter if you happen to have facts, figures, statistics, science, analysis, data on your side. If you're standing before the great Steven Crowder, yeah, you might be like, I think that it's bad that he's doing that. Well, why is it bad? Why is it bad? Because you see, you don't have anything, do you, snowflakes? Looks like you just cooked yourself. It's another cooking.
I see no reason to not confirm Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. I haven't heard anything even really approaching a convincing argument. I understand why people don't like it, and that's valid. Not seeing a constitutional or a legal reason to not confirm her, but if you think I've got a blind spot, I'm more than happy to hear you out.
I don't think there's a constitutional or a legal reason to not confirm her because the things work both ways. Backing the court, Joe Biden can do it, so can Donald Trump. But I think that what we really need to think about is this the most important thing to be talking about? We have an economic crisis going on, the worst one we've seen since 2008. And although people that are more interested in politics, like you and everyone who's around here, we all want to see someone in the Supreme Court. The average American is just worried about where their next check is coming from. And if it's not coming from one of the businesses that our government so graciously closed down, then it ought to come from the government itself. And so I think we need to see another relief package before they're worrying about this.
I think I appreciate what you just said. I agree with some of what you just said. I think some gross misrepresentations there.
All right.
And I think that's your first mistake. Let's try and nip this in the bud and not continue this way because
I think that's your first mistake.
As people like you and everyone around here only care about politics in relation to economics. No, I'm an average everyday working American too. I have 15 people who work for me. That's why I have opinions on the coronavirus. That's why I do the show that I do. And I certainly talk about the economy, and I certainly talk about macro issues more often than the Supreme Court. This is a topical issue because hearings are going on today, so I think it's a valid topic to discuss. Is that fair?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so let's not misrepresent me or people here as only caring about micro-politics. Of course you all care
such a condescending prick.
And that's why this is where I agree with you.
And there's always so much posturing, Like, okay, hold on. All right, first, before we begin, I need to put you in your place, little boy. So I'm going to put on your diaper, because you're a little boy who's going to sit in the little boy corner, and now the adult's going to talk. Okay, here we go.
I do not believe that it's within the government's authority to, as you put it, so graciously shut us all down. And so it is their duty now to make sure that basically some kind of retribution, some kind of justification here, right? Some kind of compensation is what I think you're talking about. I think that's why we passed the biggest stimulus bill that we have in modern, certainly recent American history. And there are two ways to go about it right now. Open the economy back up or spend more taxpayer dollars. Now, let's go back to Amy Coney Barrett. From what I understand, you're saying there is no reason to not confirm her.
I would say, legally, constitutionally, I don't see any reason not to confirm her. I would say it's just in our people, like our American people's interest to see a stimulus package addressed more fervently than this. They take things one at a time. They're very, very slow.
Government is very slow.
Very, very slow.
They were quick to shut businesses down, slow to provide some kind of relief.
If there's any way they can act in their own interest and tyrannically, they move as quickly as possible.
Man, look at this debate. Just a clashing of minds, definitely. Wow. Furious. The blood is on the floor. I don't know how they're ever going to recover from this.
Right now, obviously, the hearings are going on as we speak. See no reason to not confirm Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. Haven't heard anything today that's been super convincing, but I would love to hear from you. You're welcome to change my mind.
Yeah, so the clarification, the reason that you're in favor is because she's a good person. She has a clean record, basically. And it's the president's job and the Senate's job.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with necessarily. I mean, I agree with her views personally. Okay. But that's not why I see no reason that we can't confirm. It's just there's constitutionally there's no reason not to. Legally, there's no reason not to.
So we should just do it just because it's constitutionally allowed.
I said there's no reason not to. Yeah.
Okay. So 6 months from now, you should be arguing back here saying that Joe Biden should pack the court because it's constitutionally allowed.
No, I wouldn't be arguing that Joe Biden should pack the court. What I'm saying right now is there's an argument against confirming Amy Coney Barrett. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is I'm not hearing any valid argument as to why we can't. So why can't we? I guess.
But just to break down your argument. So the valid argument, what's the valid argument for against Joe Biden packing the court if he wins this?
Well, let's first talk about Amy Coney Barrett because I know you want to go straight to what about it, and I would like to talk about packing the courts. But first, let's address where you can change my mind because that's the sign. Yeah. So where am I wrong?
What I'm arguing is I'm saying that we're the same.
Okay.
Is I'm saying
so we should confirm her.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is I don't think we should confirm her because I disagree with her politically. And I'm saying you don't think that Joe Biden and the Senate should pack the court because you would disagree with that politically.
No.
Why not? It's the same argument.
But that's not what I said.
It is the exact same argument, Stephen. It is. They can do it.
You can use my name and try and use these charming techniques that you've probably learned somewhere in Debate 101, but that's not.
He's not addressing the argument at all. By the way, this is a classic Crowder technique. All right, you ignore what your opponent has said, and then you get a little cheeky. You got to get a little cheeky instantaneously. Look at this. He's turned the smug up to 12.
What I've said, that's not my point of view. Is it your smiling eyes? I can't see through that triple layer mask. No, that's not what I said. Now, I would like to get to packing the courts and why I think it's a problem.
Yeah.
But first, let's address this.
Yeah.
Amy Coney Barrett, right now, there are hearings going on. She will likely be confirmed. Yeah. This is a big problem right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people believe that she should not be confirmed. You've approached me because you believe for some reason she should not be confirmed. That reason is?
Because I think that she has bad judicial views. Okay. I don't think that there's anything super...
Okay, so because you don't like her judicial history, she shouldn't be appointed.
Yeah, the same reason that Merrick Garland wasn't appointed was because they didn't like his...
Who's they?
The Senate in 2016.
Right. Okay, so listen, there are two... I want to make sure I'm not misunderstanding you. Maybe you're saying that if you were in the Senate, you wouldn't confirm her.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're not arguing that the Senate has no right to confirm her. No. Okay, so you don't have a problem with this happening, her being confirmed. You just don't like her as a judge.
He's told you that like 6 times already. You keep circling back to this. He's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to be honest. I'm biased because they're all biased. I'm just calling it what it is. I don't want her on because I think she's a piece of shit. You didn't want Merrick Garland on because you thought he was a piece of shit. That's how this works. We all have confirmation biases, and that's what we're doing here.
I think they're the same thing, but yeah, no, I'll agree with you. I think that.
Well, they're not the same thing.
I think that she should be nominated, and then I also think that Joe Biden and the Democrats should pack the court.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do think she should be not nominated, confirmed,
yeah,
and then Joe Biden should pack the court.
Yeah.
Because you believe that they're one and the same.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we can get to your view on packing the court.
Yeah.
Has that been fair that we've addressed that?
Yeah. No,
okay. Good. So we both agree. There's no reason not nominating.
It's so ridiculous.
Now you say that you support.
How do people watch this and actually come across like, wow, ooh, look at this Machiavellian tactician Crowder. How does he pull this off every time? Just flawless victory. Friendship.
Let me hear why you support packing the court.
I think that what we need to do is we need to do exactly what's been done before, and I think that we need, well, not necessarily what's been done before. I just think that we need to preserve like certain rights that I think are important. Okay. I think that what we've seen the Supreme Court become almost too powerful to an extent, to where Donald Trump he'll be in office for like 4 years versus like the Democrats be in office in 8 years with Obama and then probably 4 years with Biden, and it's probably like an equal result for the Supreme Court. And I think that basically the Supreme Court is too powerful, and we need to kind of like take that in and readdress it and kind of even it out.
So you believe we should pack the court because we should dilute the power of the Supreme Court?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay. Did you believe that before Amy Coney Barrett?
Yeah.
How long have you believed that we should pack the court?
I mean, what, in college? I don't know, maybe like freshman year. I mean, not necessarily pack. I think we should pack the court right now, but I also to address those certain rights. But I think that we need to change how we're doing the Supreme Court.
So we should pack the court right now to address certain rights. So let me ask you this.
Pack the court in case anything important has been overturned, like ACA or abortion or Roe v. Wade. Or any of
those, hold on a second. Do you mean abortion or Roe v. Wade?
Abortion. I don't think Roe v. Wade is overturned. I think you have like those laws out in Louisiana where they need like a hospital. I think those become prevalent, therefore like ending availability.
You're talking about the state laws at that point?
Yeah, but they become they're still like it's a federal rule.
So you believe we should pack the courts now? You believe Donald Trump should pack the courts?
No, I think Biden.
If he wins.
Oh, well, Trump would have no reason to pack the court. I think that
sure he could. Why not just extend his lead?
Because what I'm arguing is that I'm saying it's purely political, and I think that what we need to do is we need to make the Supreme Court not so political. We need to just change completely how it's been done. I think I'm only arguing.
And you're saying pack the court?
I'm only arguing for pack the court if they overturn ACA or other important things.
Okay. Well, I just want to make sure because you said we should pack the court now.
Yeah. Pack the court.
So, but only if they change those things now is what you're saying. So not pack the court now. Because initially when you stood here, I want to make sure I'm not misrepresenting you, but I do think you said if she's nominated, if she's confirmed, pack the courts.
Pack the courts, Joe Biden. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But now you're saying only if ACA or Roe v. Wade is overturned.
Yeah, I'll argue that. Yeah, I'll change my view just now. Yeah, I'll argue.
Okay.
That.
So, but you do admit that it's a change. And I'm not saying gotcha. I want to make sure I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Okay. Donald Trump wins re-election, which is possible. Should Donald Trump pack the courts?
I think that we need to have fundamental change about how the Supreme Court is run.
Why can't Donald Trump do that?
I'd be glad if he did that. I don't think they'll do it. I think that Joe Biden should change how the Supreme Court is run.
Well, hold on a second. Why does it have to be Joe Biden? If you're talking about this being an issue with the Supreme Court, why can Joe Biden or why should Joe Biden pack the courts and not Donald Trump?
I just said, pack the courts. Political reasons. I think that we need to protect. I think we need to protect a woman's right to choose, and I think we need to protect the ACA.
Now, is the Supreme Court supposed to be a political institution like the executive or legislative branch?
No.
But you want it to be?
I don't want it to be. I'm saying that it is.
No, you said for political reasons we should pack the courts. That's what you just said.
What I'm arguing is that we live in A, and we need to change anything that's hurting in A, and then change it to B.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you just said you want to do that for political reasons, right?
Yeah, because we live in a political country.
You believe that the court is too political?
Yes.
When did it get to be too political?
I don't know. It's been political for a while.
It's been left tilting for a long while.
Yeah, it's been right tilting before too. I mean,
and it's been left tilting for most of your lifetime and my lifetime.
Yeah, these are all so boring.
This
one just goes on for a while.
Depending on who is in power.
How would more justices change the?
All right, I'm just going to do one quick last question versus question D, aka we'll see if Charlie Kirk does better than Steven Crowder.
My question to you is: we hear a big game from Turning Point USA and the right on how you want to reduce the size of government, when in fact, government under conservative leadership here the past, 8-10 years has not been reduced, and you still talk about increasing it. The wall, farm subsidies, I could go on. So my question to you is, what do you plan on doing to reduce the size of government? How do you plan on pressuring your elected officials to reduce the size of government when in fact, they're not doing it, they're only increasing it?
Well, look, I mean, the Trump budget itself reduces government. It closes federal agencies and merges all of them. You know that there's been more federal workers that have left the federal bureaucracy than have been hired under the Trump presidency. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
So before you start
I'd like
to say,
see some numbers, though.
Okay, I just gave you a fact. So
we don't really have a chart or access.
Baseless.
Okay. You're entitled to your own opinion. You're not entitled to your own facts, but that's okay. So under President Trump, every single budget he's submitted to Congress reduces the size of government. Under President Trump for 16 months, do you know that he signed a federal hiring freeze? Did you know that? He signed a federal hiring freeze, which by definition shrinks government because over thousands of people every single week.
Has Donald Trump increased the budget to the U.S. military? Yes. Yes, he absolutely has. He has increased the strength of the military-industrial complex, the wing of the U.S. military. Yes, absolutely. Every year, he's continued to do so. Yeah, he's trying to add a brand new branch. He wants soldiers in space with cheese cannons to shoot cheese at each other while they mine the moon.
Trump, the federal
and fight off space communists.
Well, you're trying to push forward a $13 billion wall. That's socialism at its finest. Farm subsidies.
What? A wall is socialism? Do you know what socialism
farm subsidies?
is?
No, I believe in national security. I believe in defending our borders. I do believe in a military.
What about the farm subsidies that Trump, the self-induced tariffs that,
Wait, no,
that are
can
now
you just,
requiring
can we just
bailouts?
slow down? Hold on, just slow down. Please explain to me how a wall is socialism, because that's the craziest definition of socialism I've ever heard.
It's taxpayer funds going towards the good of society.
Is police socialism?
Absolutely. Police and fire protection, public schools,
so all government
public
is socialism?
lands, it's all types of socialism.
Okay, I'm gonna ground our axioms very, very quickly. I think the word socialism is kind of losing all meaning, but I'm gonna put it out there. These are social programs. It's true that these are social programs. Yes, the police, just like you could have a public healthcare system, which is why there's a huge amount of hypocrisy. If you turn to a right winger and they're like, no, we can't have the government looking after our healthcare. No, I don't want that. Okay, do you want death panels? Do you want a panel of death? That's what'll happen. And by the way, I'd like to take all your tax dollars and put them towards a armed militia force filled with racists. Let's do that one. I want the other one, the one with the militia and the racists, and then they can kill people. That's what I want my tax dollars to go for. Not for you to be healthy. Not for the poors to be able to get health care.
No, those are municipalities.
Any taxpayer.
Those are municipalities. No way. Candace Owens popping in with the 5-head take already.
It's all types of socialism.
So you believe all government is socialism?
No, those are municipalities.
Any taxpayer subsidy that's put towards the common good of society, in whatever context you think common good of society is a type of socialism. And everybody here uses those types of programs. You got public lands, public roads. I'm sure everybody in here likes to go shoot their guns on public lands. Well,
first of all,
government takes care of that.
A couple interesting facts, though, because a lot of public lands are actually paid
I
for
like
by
this
hunting
guy.
licenses. Therefore, the people that purchase the hunting licenses are the ones that are paying in. Secondly, the number one funder in the...
That's not what he said. He was talking about the public lands. He just talked about hunting licenses. But yeah, good pivot. The goalpost has been moved.
federal government that actually funds our transportation system is the federal gas tax. That's actually factored into your purchase of gasoline. So a lot of ways we have user taxes for the things that you're describing as socialism. So the more you drive, the more you pay into it. The more you hunt, the more you pay into it. Now, to your interesting convoluted point that every...
Yeah, that's That's how taxes work. In essence, the more you make, the more you get taxed. So yeah, the more you pay into it. And then that money gets used for social programs. That's how it works. He's just pointing out the hypocrisy. Because you love social programs. You just love them when it's, again, the military, so you can kill poor people and commit some war crimes, or the police, so you can kill poor people and commit some war crimes. Wow, funny that.
Every layer of government is socialism goes directly against the author of socialism's treatise. Socialism is the public ownership of such industries. So
exactly, and you know what?
Okay.
Those include worker co-ops, which I'm sure everybody here shops at the community co-op, right?
No.
No. Well, if you do, or let me say this: Town and Country. Who shops at Town and Country here? That is a worker co-op, and it's a type of socialism.
But it's all voluntarily.
The hypocrisy here is
it's
pretty
really
overwhelming.
So let me tell you, you know what's amazing about a capitalist system is you can voluntarily be in a co-op. So no one's forcing Town and Country to be in a co-op.
So what's going on here is he's actually pointing out market socialism, but the idea of the employer-employee dynamic, right, which is one of the three different variations. If we want to summarize this, we've got master-slave, right, and then that didn't work out so great for the slaves, and so we got a better system. We got lord and serf. That didn't work out so good for the serfs, but then we got another one, and then we got employer-employee, and that's not working so great for the employees. So is there a way that we can remove that dynamic altogether? Well, there is. You can use worker cooperatives. Now, that isn't full-blown socialism, unfortunately, but it is a step closer towards, I would say, being far more equitable, being far more humane. These are good things. Worker cooperatives are based, incredibly based. Higher minimum wages, worker benefits, healthcare, democracy, the ability to vote in your workplace, to be able to control what happens, the decision making that affects your lives. That's all wonderful.
So only in capitalism could you voluntarily put yourself in that sort of system. But if you don't want to be in a co-op, you should have the freedom to do that as well.
What about the folks that are involved in capitalism that can't buy a home, or that are being ripped off by the pharmaceutical companies and the healthcare industry? That's capitalism, all right. And people are.
I like this guy. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. Plaid shirt, but I like you. I like the effort too.
Got something to say to that?
Plenty.
The hell, yeah, I know, actually a lot. Our
people are losing.
Okay, but
do you think you're losing?
No, not necessarily.
Well, so then.
Oh, got him, bodied. Are you well off, sir? Well, if you're well off, why do you care about anyone else? That's my question. Like, if you're doing all right, why do you care about anything else? You know, fuck the poors. Fuck the gays. Fuck minorities. Fuck them all. Why do you care?
Who are you to speak for other people if you're not losing and you're benefiting?
I'm not benefiting from the ACA whatsoever.
Well, the ACA,
it's killing me.
The
Obamacare, the same thing.
That's socialism, bro.
No, it's not. Actually, the ACA is a healthcare exchange where you can go on and buy insurance in the free market.
A government-created
It's a website. It's a website.
Created
it's a government website where you
a government-created website. Yeah, that's pretty commie if ever I heard one.
You can go buy different types of health insurance on the free market from private healthcare companies.
How many taxes were in Obamacare? 28 new taxes. You still can't buy health insurance across state lines.
Man, these are the philosophers of the modern era. I love it. So at one point, ideas like schools, roads, none of that was considered socialism. But the idea of the ACA, well, that's socialism, bro. Got him.
It was 1,800 pages.
The ACA is a municipality. I forgot. Oh man, if you always wonder how you could have done better after the fact. You always wonder, like, how, oh man, I'm just replaying that Charlie Kirk debate I had and the things I could have said. Imagine if he had dropped that. Imagine if he had dropped that line. Oh, that would have been chef's kiss. Like, at that point, I would have grabbed the mic out of that, like, assistant's hand and thrown it right at Charlie Kirk. Like, not a mic drop. I would have done a mic throw in a video game. In a video game, of course.
Find out what was in it.
Who's making the profits on healthcare right now? Is it the government or is it private industry?
Well,
private industry.
Yeah,
right?
sure. Correct, but not if you're a veteran. You go to the
That's
Veterans
not government
Administration.
regulated.
Well, if you go to the vet, we have forms of socialized healthcare, and then the worst parts of our society and our culture.
Medicare works.
Well, how about Medicaid?
Wow, dude, well done. That was a triple. That was like a. Let's play this one more time.
Who's making the profits on healthcare right now? Is it the government or is it private industry?
Well,
private industry.
Yeah,
right?
sure. Correct, but not if you're a veteran. You go to the
That's
Veterans
not government
Administration.
regulated.
Well, if you go to the vet, we have forms of socialized healthcare, and then the worst parts of our society and our culture.
Medicare, and it works.
Well, how about Medicaid? Medicaid doesn't work, and Medicare is deeply underfunded. Medicare has $60 billion of documented waste every single year, and Medicaid is healthcare for the poor. There's 62 million people on Medicaid in America right now, and the approval of people on Medicaid is sub 15%. Obamacare expanded Medicaid. It is a form of socialism. It doesn't work. This idea of Medicare for all is really Medicaid for all. It is not better health care for everyone. It's destroy our good health care system and give more free stuff to people for more votes, and then destroy the medical advancements that are inherent.
My boy's confused. Oh no, he's confused. He thinks it's for the votes. He thinks he's vote buying. Interesting.
In our current system right now. Is our healthcare system broken? Absolutely. It's broken because government picks and chooses winners right now. And the ACA was nothing more than a pseudo-socialist bill that the insurance companies, the hospitals, and the drug companies lobbied for through the guise of trying to benefit people. But it was pseudo-socialism because it was government-created exchanges. 18,000 new IRS agents were hired under Obamacare, hundreds of pages of new regulation, 28 new taxes, including taxes under medical excise tax, the individual mandate tax, which literally forced people to buy health care if they didn't want it in our own generation.
If you haven't seen this before, this is Charlie Kirk, who had to wait outside for a privatized healthcare experience. Wasn't too happy about that one. It's almost as if with all his money and power and insurance, there's still some problems with this old capitalist system. But sorry, no, that's socialism. Socialism is wonderful. It's whatever you want it to be. Socialism is everything and everyone, or nothing. It's everything and yet nothing. It's the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end.
What's up, everybody? Joey from Food Not Bombs here with Robert from New Leaf Community. I want to talk to you briefly about these Conestoga huts we've been building for the houseless community. We've built 19 so far, about to put up the 20th one in a couple days, but we need your help. They're only $600 to build, and we're running low on funds, so if you can help us out, we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're also looking for sanctioned property to build them on. If anybody has connections to that type of resource, we are planning on building our 20th one this week. And there are small huts that are enough space for 1 or 2 people to live in, and we've been able to provide a lot of people with a safe place to stay at night, and it's been a good project so far. We just need the support of the community to keep it going and to keep building more huts.
Yeah, so patreon.com, patreon.com/New Leaf Community, or at Food Not Bombs Las Vegas. Link is in the bio on Instagram. Please share this with your friends. Help us get the word out.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you.
Hey, we want to mutual aid you to get some eyeballs on your work. So if you have a leftist YouTube channel or Twitch stream or something you want us to advertise, just send us a 20 to 30 second ad using the forms at weareserfs.com. We'll do our best to help you out. And please submit once per channel.
To our God, I'm Rad. We pray at your altar of greatness. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, you are the light that guides our path. To our lords, Jimothy K. Meeble Beeps Jr., Ryan Lubin, Trevor R., Jeffrey Lamb, Poppy Nelson, Stephen, Hans Josephine, Nine Tails Cosmic Fox, we bow meekly for your pleasure. To our Knights of the Round Table, J. Fraser Cartwright, Thomas Brereton, Ali Menthal, Jimmy Bignuts, Good Poon Hates Cops, That's Solid Poon Then, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Political Puppy, Andreas Chiringoito, Goofus Lankius, Zach Christensen, Nicholas Marks, Yoppy, Josh Mickelson, Dr. Zayas, Dylan Byth, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We salute you.